This video today is for any of the men who have found themselves in the divine feminine role. But ladies, stick around, you'll probably find this interesting as well. Hi guys, for those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Alyssa. I'm a twin flame coach who specializes in trauma bonds and detachment. All right guys, so if you have found yourself in the divine feminine role, meaning you are probably chasing your divine masculine, you're watching videos such as these, you were the one to awaken first. Also meaning the female in your life would be in the divine masculine role and they're probably the runner, unconscious to everything, and most certainly they have pushed you away at this point. Now this video is not going to be for everyone. There may be men who will watch this and be like, nope, I'm secure in my divine feminine core and that's it. And that's totally fine. This video is just to open your eyes to something else, and I'll explain why throughout the video. This comes with a full understanding that everyone has both feminine and masculine in them, but that each one of us actually belongs in a core energy. In my own story, I spent over 40 years aligned with my masculine, staying in my masculine core. It made me completely miserable throughout all of my relationships though, because me being in my masculine core meant I attracted feminine men, and I longed for them to lead, and they never did. Throughout the relationship, because they wouldn't lead, I would lead, and after time, I would just lead more and more strongly, and they wouldn't make any decisions at all, which led me to having a lack of trust in them and not really feeling safe with them at all. Because of circumstances that happened in my childhood with my mom, I didn't feel very safe with the feminine at all. So I was incredibly drawn to the masculine, and throughout my healing work, I found myself wanting to work with the masculine. I was highly attracted to any of the men's coaches who were doing work primarily around men, until I started to heal my feminine wounding, which was very hard for me to even approach. The masculine was all I could really relate to. Nothing wrong that I went through this period in my life. It made it possible for me to be able to make this video for you guys today. But until I stepped into my feminine core and started doing more of my healing work in the feminine arena rather than the masculine, I was never going to fully heal. And on a side note, because I have seen comments on some of my videos about the fact that we never fully heal, that's not entirely true. While we're always working on ourselves and there's always room for improvement and room for growth, I do believe you come to a point where you've healed your trauma. In fact, if you watch my ayahuasca video, you'll see in my story that when I was working with a facilitator there, she actually provided me with advice that I should stop working on my healing because I was going to intensives, I kept doing coursework, kept trying to fix things. She told me it was time to actually stop working on all of that and just enjoy my life. And that's actually been a year and a half since that happened, and I would not disagree with her at all. So for any that are feeling down about how long healing work is taking, or you're scared to dive into it, the deeper you dive into it, the quicker you go through it, the quicker you can get to the other side. So like I said, until I dived into my feminine core and feminine healing work, there was no way I was going to have a relationship with my partner as I desired. I was just going to stay in my masculine core and continue to attract feminine men who weren't going to work for me. So you know how I said a couple of minutes ago, this may not apply to everyone. There may be some men who will watch this video and decide to stay in their feminine core. And that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. And by the way, please don't come at me in the comments with that. This again is just to open up a new perspective, because it is highly possible that you as a man fell into the divine feminine because of some wounding in your childhood and also because of how society has influenced you. Often what happens when we're growing up is that we desire love more from one caregiver than the other, our mother or our father, or the masculine or the feminine energy. And because of that, we're going to identify more with that one core energy because that's who our inner child is desiring that love from. So in my case, I strongly desired love from my father because my mother was not emotionally available to give me her love. And that just made me chase my father even more. If you'd like, take a moment here to pause the video And think back to your childhood. If there were times when you craved more love from your mother than you did from your father, maybe because your mother had shown you love in different ways that your father wasn't available for, and because that feminine energy was more available to you, it just made you chase it harder. Even if you still feel like you had some neglect or emotional abuse or something from your mother, it doesn't matter. You probably still, as part of your childhood survival techniques, probably identified with that feminine energy more. Go ahead and pause here if you'd like. Now, identifying this is important, especially if, like I said, now you've found yourself in the chaser role and you are actually chasing the female in your life for that love. Forget whether she's in her masculine core energy or not. As we go through this video, you may see that you may actually want her out of that masculine energy and in her core feminine. In chasing her, you may unknowingly be wanting to heal those wounds through her, and also thinking that you can only heal through the feminine, which also will make you drawn to channels like mine or working with a female coach. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that ever. What we want to do in this video is encourage you to also explore the masculine, and therefore the masculine healing that is available to you. For some of you, this is automatically going to send you a trigger. That's okay. It took me years to be able to want to step into my feminine healing and therefore step into my divine feminine. Because of the painful relationship with my mother, I just didn't want to look at it and I avoided it at all costs. As you're probably seeing already, it's easier to feel more comfortable in one energy than the other. Just as you explored the feminine craving earlier in this video, I now actually want you to go ahead and explore how you feel about the masculine. In childhood, the masculine in your life, were they there for you? Were they present? Or were they unavailable? Did they neglect you? Were they never present? Did they abuse you? Or did they altogether leave you and maybe you never knew them? This can make you turn your back on the masculine because there is just too much pain there. And then the feminine becomes your comfort place. Let's talk about how society has contributed to this. Because over the past 70 years, it has been responsible for a lot of us landing in the wrong core energy. As women fought just to have a voice, we happen to find our empowerment only through becoming independent. And some of us who had trauma in our life that wasn't healed yet turned our back on trusting the masculine because we only knew how to pick toxic men. I remember there was a time about 5 years ago when I was hanging out by my fire pit with one of my male friends, and he was trying to help me that night with the fire. You guys should have seen how I scowled at him and asked him to back off and let me handle it and manage it on my own. How did I end up this way? Well, see, as a little girl, my dad made a regular practice of punching me on the arm. And when I would say, "Ow, that hurts, why'd you do that?" he would say, "Because I am making you stronger." Do you see now how there was no room for a masculine in my life? Because I was the masculine. I'm taking the long way around explaining this because I really want you guys to explore and see what made you land in this feminine core energy. Do you actually truly belong there? Think this, as you explore this will help you understand a lot about the female in your life and how she landed in her masculine energy. Does she even belong there? More importantly, does she want to be there? Let's go ahead and open another door. In speaking about masculine core energy, let's talk about the divine masculine. The divine masculine strongly wants to provide for, protect, and support their divine feminine. However, their mission and their purpose does absolutely come first in life. If they are not in their mission and purpose, they will be unable to support their feminine in the way that they truly crave in life. Society has shamed this out of a lot of men and taken them away from their true purpose and their true mission in life. They come up with sayings such as happy wife, happy life. There's a big difference between happy wife, happy life, and supporting your feminine. You're not supposed to actually drop your life at her every whim and do everything that she wants. That is actually her leading. Where is the room for the divine masculine space to come through? Where is the opportunity for him to lead, for him to make decisions? And how is she going to feel safe if he isn't making the decisions, if he isn't leading, if he isn't providing and supporting and protecting? You must listen to her and then guide from there. That's how this works. I saw a TikTok the other day of a very popular content creator, and he actually created a video around this. He plays both the masculine and the feminine role in his videos. You know, as the feminine, like he has the towel around his head. And in this video, she asked him, I can't remember what the question was, but it led him to show how he would lead in his masculine. He knew through being inquisitive with her the restaurants that she liked. And he said, here's 3 restaurants to pick from. I'm going to go out and take care of a couple of errands. I'll be back in 2 hours. You be ready. By 8, I'm going to take you out. You pick the restaurant. That is absolutely what we want. Or just pick a restaurant to take us to, because that would be amazing in and of itself. I will tell you that I spent a few years on dating apps, and every time a guy asked me out, he would ask where I wanted to go to dinner. That annoyed the crap out of me because I had been in my masculine core energy all week long at work. And on the weekend, when a guy is finally going to take me out, I really just want to spend a couple hours getting ready, have him pick me up, or if, we're brand new to dating, meet him somewhere. And then I just want him to pick the restaurant. I want to learn about him. I want to see him lead. I want to see him pay for dinner. I want to not have to think that evening. While you're in separation, away from your divine masculine, the female in your life, this is the perfect time to play all this out in your head. Play out these scenarios in your head. Were there times when you were together when she may have expressed that she wanted you to lead, that she wanted you to make a choice? If you asked her where she wanted to go to dinner, did she seem frustrated by it? So here's the thing, guys. Open that door for her. Pay for dinner. Plan the evening. Can you picture yourself being busy in your purpose, in your mission, in something while she takes 3 hours to get ready for you? Because believe you me, she wants to do that for you. In the way that the masculine is pulled to wanting to provide and protect, she is also so drawn to wanting to be in her feminine. There has been a trend going around on TikTok. The video starts out where you just see the shot of the car from the front, and she is walking around to the passenger side. He's opening the door for her and she's getting in. And the words on the video are her saying how wonderful it feels that she knows that everything is taken care of by him and she can now surrender in her feminine. It's such a beautiful thing. And trust you me, it is not done enough for women these days at all. Even if your female counterpart isn't asking for it, isn't saying, because sometimes it's really uncomfortable for us, or we don't even know how to ask for this, or even that underneath this is what we are desiring. But I am willing to bet that there is a part of her that wants you to lead, that wants you to provide, that wants you to support her, not in an emotional way. Believe you me, she's got that covered. Guys, there's no way with our feminine waves that we have within us, there's no way that you can ever be that. She's got that covered. Let her take that. Never shame her for that and never call it drama. I want to read from a book named Man Uncivilized. It was written by Trevor Boehm. This man is so good at his job, he has even had a few of his students go and get his logo tattooed on their bodies. Are you leading or are you being led? If you don't know, I do. Start leading in every single day of your life. Do you know why your woman hates you? Because you force her into her masculine. Think about that. Anytime you put your woman into the space where she unwillingly has to lead, make decisions she doesn't want to make, or be responsible for her own safety, you've put her in her masculine energy. And if she's having to go there because of your lack of grounded masculine presence, your lack of leadership, she will literally hate you. Repulsive is a strong word, isn't it? That's the word I hear most frequently from women when asked how it feels to be with a man who is out of his power. They didn't say uncomfortable, troubling, or disconcerting. No, they said repulsive, as in get the fuck away from me. Think about that, brother. Think about that in relationship to your leadership. Think about that when you're choosing a restaurant for dinner, leading a sexual experience, or owning the direction you're taking your family. If you don't believe me, flip the script. How would you feel if over and over again your woman had you shift into your feminine energy when you didn't want to? Imagine spending the vast majority of your relationship in a feeling state, going with the flow and not being able to act on your goals or higher purpose because the person you're with is giving you instructions, making your plans, and having you sit down and talk about your feelings. Pretty repulsive, isn't it? Pure masculine energy is intoxicating. Trust me on this. I've sat across from enough women in coffee shops and watched them physically sweat. What are you doing? They've asked. Nothing, I tell them with a smile. I'm just sitting here. Sitting there perfectly still, completely relaxed, and with full, unapologetic access to my problem-solving brain, empathetic heart, and cock energy ready to blow them wide open or lead a movement of men. If she hates you, it's on you. Get back in touch with your true nature and reap the rewards. Let me also show you this book. This is the way he designed this perfectly for a man to read, where just every morning you could go through, one page, one section, and there's like a thought for the day. And then he's also got some pretty powerful statements on pages like this. Guys, if you read this book and none of this resonates with you, then you probably belong in your feminine core energy and probably will continue to stay there. But I would at least go ahead and give this book a shot. Traver also holds men's retreats. I think they're maybe anywhere between like 2 days to a week long. And even if you don't align with Traver, there are actually lots of men's retreats out there. Men, part of you is not going to heal if you are not out in the forest screaming at the sky with other men. It is very different from how women heal. Also, as you start to read his book, you may actually start to see why the female in your life is running from you. Because see, guys, that's what happened with me and my counterpart in the very beginning. If you don't know my story, when we first got together, as I stated, I was in my masculine core. He was one of the men that I had picked because he was in his feminine core. He was barely leading anything at all, would follow me around a lot like a puppy, was very emotional and very jealous. And I even recall one evening when he gave up going to his welding class at the community college to come see me because we had been fighting. If he had been in his purpose, in his mission, he would have been at that class instead of being with me. The only thing that he had to do to make me feel supported and make himself feel present was to tell me, hey, I really want to talk to you about what we're fighting about. Can we meet up tomorrow night? Can I come over tomorrow night? I really have to go to my class tonight. I can't miss this. But because that wasn't the action that he took, because he didn't go make his purpose number one, his mission number one, and then just let me know that he was going to come back and talk to me about things later, the whole thing made me feel very unsafe. It made me feel like I was responsible for his healing in some manner, that he couldn't take care of himself, that his problems and issues were all on me somehow to fix. And me truly desiring to be in my feminine core energy, you guys, you can see how this just wasn't working. And so I completely ran from the situation. And that's what I'm questioning. And that's why I made this video. Because if you were to step into your divine masculine, if you were to go through healing any kind of wounding around the masculine, you can step into it. And she walked back into your life and she saw you in the divine masculine energy. I wonder how things would change. I wonder if she would look at you differently. I wonder if she would look at you in awe. I hope this video resonated for a number of you. To not consider these things is just spiritually bypassing. That's the point of my videos, is to try to always connect the human aspect of this to the spiritual and not 100% go into the spiritual, because it's my belief that that doesn't really solve any of our issues. Thank you to some of you for subscribing to my channel. I believe the unsubscribed has gone from 83% to 72%. So thanks again. I hope more of you will go ahead and subscribe, like, and comment.